Candidates who stood out in interviews weren't the smartest. They simply understood the human psychology better than the rest. Hello, my name is Adam T, a strategic HR professional and a career coach. In today's episode, we will talk about the six psychological principles for interview success. So most people think hiring is a logical process, but in reality, it is emotional, instinctive, and often biased. So once you understand the psychology behind it, you can excel in almost every interview you attend, even ahead of people who look more qualified on paper. Over my years in HR practice, and especially in recruitment, I've seen brilliant candidates get rejected and average candidates land offers they honestly had no business getting in. And what is the difference? It wasn't their CV, it wasn't their experience, it wasn't their skills either. It was how they made the interviewer feel. And after screening thousands of profiles and sitting in hundreds of interviews, I've come to the realization that hiring is 80% psychology and the 20% left is built on skills and experience. And once I understood that, I can predict almost instantly who gets hired and who won't. So now, let me walk you through the six psychological principles that the best candidates use. Principle one, cognitive ease. So hiring managers naturally choose people they feel are easy to work with. So when you find yourself in an interview space, don't get defensive, don't badmouth past employers, don't just talk about yourself. Instead, focus on building a smooth and comfortable interaction. That simple pace of just being easy to deal with is one of the most underrated job search tactics you will come across. And that alone can be the difference between landing the role or having to go back the drawing board. So cognitive ease in simple terms is to be likable and be easy to deal with. And once you do that, once you make a strong first impression, something called the halo effect kicks in, which is the principle two. So this is where people get hired over candidates who are technically more qualified. If they like one thing about you, they start assuming they will like every other thing about you. So one positive impression can influence the entire judgment of you during an interview. So example, if you communicate clearly, they assume you work clearly. If you seem confident, they assume you are competent. And if your online presence is strong, they perceive your value goes through the roof. And this happens fast. Hiring managers make these uncontrolled judgments within the first 3 minutes, which sometimes they are not even aware of. So this sends us to principle three, which is the likability principles. Despite all the effort in the world to create fair and equal processes, there is always some level of unconscious bias that tends to creep in. And I'm sure there are plenty of HR leaders out there who insist their process is different, but you almost guarantee it isn't. Let's be honest. Human hire humans. And at the end of the day, people hire people they like. People they will actually enjoy working every day. Skills may get you noticed or may send you to the room, but likability gets you hired. So this sends us to principle four, which is the authority bias. Authority bias actually means people trust and respect those who appear knowledgeable and credible. Think about it. We listen to doctors because we trust them. We respect police officers because of their authority and the command they have. As a candidate, you can build that same authority through your online presence. How? Through how you communicate. So you have to communicate clearly through how you structure your answers. Example, using the framework such as the STAR, speak with clarity, show ownership. Remember, entertaining content builds audience, valuable content builds trust, and credible content builds authority. And with the right mix of this, you end up getting treated differently among other candidates. And when you build that perception online, you need to carry it also into the interview room. So let's talk about principle 5, which is the confirmation bias. Here, the interviewers often try to look for evidence to support their opinion they already had about you to confirm their first impression. So if the interviewer sees you as an authority because of your LinkedIn presence, your experience, and even the way you introduce yourself, their brain now scans to confirm their first impression is correct. And the opposite is also true. So if they see you that you lack confidence, you seem unclear, or your energy feels off, their brain will start to look for reasons to back their belief instead. So if you start strong, they look for reasons to justify liking you. If you start poorly, they look for reasons to reject you. That is why you must start with confidence. Reinforce your strength with clear examples. Clarify questions before answering. Align your responses with the impression you want the interviewer to leave it. And once their mind is leading in your direction, their own confirmation bias will help seal the deal and push them towards a yes in your favor. So let's go to the last one, which is the commitment principle. This is what turns interviews into offers. Most of the cases, you end up leaving the interview room hoping that the interviewer sees you as the right fit. But you and I know that hope is not a strategy. Instead, guide the interviewer towards the clean next step, the clear next step. At the end of the interview, ask, what is the next step? What if I don't hear from you? What am I expected to do a follow-up? Those questions remove uncertainty and then positions you as intentional and professional. So these are the 6 psychological principles that will shape almost every hiring decision and interview you go into, or with the interviews are not even aware of. So if you master these psychological principles, you won't just attend interviews, you will control the narrative in every interview you walk into. If you want help applying these principles, kindly send a DM for a one-on-one session. Also, follow and subscribe to my channel for more practical and workplace insights, because your next opportunity is not just about what you know, it's about the people you make them feel.